to roll them out today. However, I am still
I don't think
working with
anyone is
the folks
using
who regulate the ammunition
the
state-run
pass for this
businesses
shit.
to ensure that a purchase of a gun can only be made once per week. In addition, there are some further revisions being made to which firearms will be available at ammunition, and I am awaiting confirmation of those developments. So, I actually, as I understand it, the purchase of guns from ammunition is currently not permitted. So I will be working with them to understand when those items have been resolved and when gun licenses will roll out. So there have been some concerns raised to me, several items, one of which was, I guess, sort of my own realization that although the guns themselves are stamped with let's say issuer IDs, the magazines and the ammo are clearly not. And as such, someone with a gun license could very clearly disseminate magazines and ammo to people who hold illicit guns, assuming they are of the same make and model. So, for example, if you steal a PD Glock or you have one of these tampered Glocks that has no serial, and then a civilian has the capacity to then go to ammunition and buy the equivalent ammo and magazine, there is effectively a conduit by which unlimited magazines and ammunition would be proliferated with no real way of tracking or consequence. So as a result, we are looking at solidifying the type of firearm that can be purchased from ammunition such that we are not coinciding with the same guns that PD use, which will also be helpful on scenes for them to clarify, civilian versus PD firearms.
I was going to literally ask that. Yeah, perfect. Good.
So that's all being worked on. Gun licenses will be slightly delayed. And by that, I mean delayed by a matter of days, not weeks. So there may be something in the middle of the week where the DOJ starts rolling out gun licenses. I'm just making you all aware that that is what's going on.
In the spirit of spitballing, this is in regards to the commercial trucks. I believe in the past we called them commerce checkpoints, but I do believe that the PD should be empowered to set up weigh stations, let's say in designated areas, and obviously that's all up to debate. But like highways, the
How much
entrance
did we make? Like 50 grand.
We only made one sale. The legal argument was, well, you have to have a reason to stop someone to detain them.
My presentation to the council is that I believe the
they've
very
already
act
been
of
removed,
driving a commercial vehicle on our roadways, public as they are, funded by the state as they are, should allow spot checks of those vehicles. A PD officer should be able to observe an 18-wheeler rolling down the road, pull them over. Hey, how you doing? Just making sure you're licensed, to be operating this vehicle, which the person can provide the contract information by inspecting, the truck.
I have 2 magazines
as well as the cargo, and that will allow for a spot check, which avoids the need for independent.
I don't want to do it. They removed it for a reason. So they saw that they made a mistake. They removed the guns from the ammunition.
Anywhere in the city, willy-nilly, or only in certain circumstances. But I'm fine with obviously the RS concern. They could just pull them over.
In a perfect world, I would like it to be highway interdiction because I think that's where the most concern is. However, I don't know if I want to restrict the PD in when they can do the spot checks because, to be honest with you, I can already guess that Matt Rhodes would like to set up a personal spot checking station at the entrance to the Russian docks.
Fair.
I apologize if I missed that in this discussion. Is there a specific penal charge for their trucks being overweight?
And that's
it is
why
not.
I was gonna
this is what we're discussing right now.
Okay.
What I'm saying is I'm giving you the context that you are overweight if you do more than one grime load. How does that color y'all's interpretation of how stiff the penalty should be?
Why not increase their weight limit?
I have discussed that with the manufacturers, and I was informed that that is working as intended.
Nakota, what do you feel the punishment should be for trucking overweight like that?
I mean, off the top of my head, a charge would be like misuse of a commercial vehicle, obviously. I think the articulation for having too much weight in your vehicle is that it's basically like a battering ram. I mean, they already are. The speed limits was hopefully try to curb people driving too fast. I'll be honest, we still give out plenty of speeding tickets. But I do. I don't know if anyone here has had any similar experience of getting smashed at high speeds by
I have
those 18.
I
Okay,
have.
so there you go. Okay, fair enough. So overweight 18-wheeler, overweight even some of the bigger vans. I mean, it is a vehicle can be considered a deadly weapon if you're packing it to the brim overweight. That is pretty negligent, if I'm going to be honest.
For context, okay, these I've spoken to quite a few people on the street who work for the Grime Delivery.
Okay.
They make a lot of fucking money. They make a lot of money.
Okay.
So I think a somewhat large but not like unreasonable fine for driving dangerously like that is not entirely unwarranted.
I would agree. The thing that I would request, this is mainly for the lawyer side of things, is I don't think it should be a felony. I don't think driving an overweight truck should preclude you from a business or
absolutely.
Oh no. Sorry, yeah, no, I wasn't saying that should be a felony. I'm just I'm thinking out loud in that part.
I don't think it should be an arrestable offense.
Oh, sure, just a fine.
It's a moving infraction.
Yeah.
I got a real crackpot question.
Oh, I did have another thing. Fuck. Sorry. I just I got another thing for legislation. Keep going, Malton. I just remember.
A real crackpot spitball I want to throw out here is if you are overweight driving, is that overweight proceeds of a crime that are going to be seized?
No.
No. Okay.
No. I think we do. Here's my suggestion. How about this? How about we make it roughly equivalent to first-degree speeding, because we all agree that it's dangerous and it needs to be curbed. We set that at what, $1,000?
I think it is 1,000.
So we make it $1,000 fine for driving an overweight Grime vehicle, and what we do is we make it 5 points on your license. Ooh. So that way, if you do it 4 times, your license gets suspended.
Are we?
But
still
there's no arresting. There's no criminal side of it. It's just, we're reflecting how important commercial vehicles are and how much care you should use when operating them.
What about like 4 points?
4 points? I mean, it's fine. Yeah, I'm just spitballing.
Yeah, 4 points. My wife and I live in on Route 68.
Oh.
So we see a lot of these trucks driving by and stuff. Most of them are well-meaning people. I've spoken to a lot of them. They're going to need time to adjust, and it would be unfortunate for them to lose their driver's license that quickly, right?
Wait, where do you live off 68?
Behind the convenience store.
You know what the address is?
Oh
yeah,
shit.
Yeah. Hold on. It's
a trailer.
Harmony.
No. I know, but which one?
It's like Harmony Route 68, 58 or some shit, something like that.
Do you live in the murder trailer?
What?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Because there was a trailer out
the
there.
one right by the used car lot across from Harmony Repairs.
No.
There's a couple of them. So there was that one, and there was another murder trailer where there was like people had mocked up like a cell inside, and people were like held in there like human trafficked and shit.
Oh.
Anyway, I'm sure they cleaned it fine. I'm sure.
Yeah. I don't believe in ghosts. That's all.
Bleach solves everything.
I had it renovated. It's nice. Okay, it's not murdery.
I'm sure it's okay. So to my actual legislative point, here is something I want to propose to the council. I didn't write it up because it only came to me the other day, and I was getting feedback from Miss here she is, Miss Mushkin Domino here to my back right. I would like to propose the following. Currently, driver's licenses are not actually removed. They are only suspended. The reason being is that we used to have driving school, which Tessa Lamb ran. And so when someone lost their license, they would go to driving school, get a certificate that said, I passed driving school. And then they would get their license reinstated by going to a judge or a clerk and providing the certificate. I propose the following. When people reach 20 points now, the PD or whoever causes them to go over 20 points should revoke their license. And in order to reinstate their license, even if the points have fallen off, I believe they should go to a clerk, and the clerks should operate a quasi DMV. I think this will allow more engagement for the clerks. This will allow more meaning to having your license revoked. And it will provide more of, should I say, like interactions at City Hall with people who might not otherwise.
What is he?
So, sorry, just so I understand, the license would be revoked within the
Correct.
MDT, but the clerks could obviously reissue that because they're
correct.
clerks.
And there would be a minor fee for reinstatement, something light, $500, something like that. But the purpose would be to allow the clerks to have roles and responsibility that would expand their purview.
I like that. Yeah, that's fun.
I just have a couple of questions. So is it pretty much guaranteed now we're not doing the commercial licenses? They're just going to go onto the existing
The way that
drivers?
it should work is I think we just create penalties that offer heavy point restrictions.
Okay.
The way I understand it, in order to even operate a grime truck, you have to purchase the right to operate the truck from the contractor.
Okay.
So you pay, I think it's like 25 grand or something to buy the truck. So I think that covers that side of it, and we'll simply have the points reflect the severity of the action, aka the 4 points Max described.
Okay. The other things I was just going to say is,
the
what
points
if
have
a
to fall
vehicle's
off,
like caught
so-
off-roading, not even on the road? Say they're driving, through the Los Santos freeway, like dirt path that wraps around behind the.
So you want to create like negligent operation of a commercial vehicle
Yeah,
with
like
a stiffer penalty than negligent driving.
Right. If they start figuring out that if they're
Yeah.
overweight on the road, they can be pulled over and
Yeah, so when they go below 20
cited, and then they try to start
is when they
obfuscating
can
by going off road
get
to
their
avoid
license back.
potential being seen.
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. And then my last thing, and I will be done. I apologize. If we catch someone, if it is identified that somebody's vehicle is overweight, that vehicle is then subject to being searched and having the outstanding weight removed, or
No, the fine and the points are the deterrent and the punishment.
got it.
The fine. Also
I don't want to get involved with rank and file cops seizing fucking boxes of goods out of trucks.
I don't necessarily have an issue with that. I just wanted to say it out loud.
Hornwood, you raised your hand.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what's that charge going to be called for? Is it overweight driving?
It would be probably unsafe operation of a commercial vehicle, and then the other one would be negligent operation of a commercial vehicle.
Okay.
Because the unsafe would mean you knew it because it's in legislation that you can only go to a certain weight and based on your contract. And then the negligent would be maybe it's not spelled out somewhere, but I'll know it when I see it for the cops. Which also allows the cops to argue that in court. So if somebody wants to try to come in and say they're a good old boy who can drive an 18-wheeler off-road, then they can come and try to argue that.
Okay. Yeah, I was asking because I didn't want to hear the same damn joke every time I pulled someone over. So thank God it's not overweight driving.
Understood. Yeah. 10-4, buddy.
Is this Crane? Is this not dissimilar from how we used to do suspended driver's license and reissuing them with like a past driver's test? Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Correct. It's just DMV.
I love that. No, I love that.
Taking Patrick DeSalt's job and giving it to the clerks.
Right. No, and that's great. I think the clerks. I think we trust the clerks to give out licenses.
We don't need to
So I feel like
serialize bullets,
that should
right?
absolutely
Because
be
when
within
you
that
shoot it
purview. I
from a
love this idea.
gun,
Okay.
the casing will
so
come back to that gun.
There
because
effectively will
that's
be three things that I will
quote-unquote
be working on
de-identification.
implementing if there are no nays. That is number one, the quote unquote unsafe operation of a commercial vehicle, which will be described as the weight limit infraction. Again, this is not a criminal punishment. This is an infraction.
Yeah.
It'll be 4 points on their license.
So it's just a
meaning they do it
magazine
5
that
times and have their
issue.
license
I was going to bring
revoked.
it up.
And it'll be $1,000 fine, which is similar to the
They
speeding.
removed them from the store. So I just assume
first
that's
degree.
The way they would.
The second
gonna
one
deal with
charge
it.
will be negligent operation of a commercial vehicle. This will be simply negligent driving, which I'll literally just copy paste the definition of, but insert the words commercial vehicle.
Yeah, they're not
Same thing
Yeah.
will be $1,000 fine, and we'll call it, I think, probably 2 points for that because it's a little different than the overweight. And then I will
I don't know if
institute
they're gonna change
the
the price is still
legislation
2K.
surrounding the creation of the DMV powers being assigned to the clerks, which states that police officers are now enabled to revoke a license when the person reaches 20 points. and the reinstatement of that license must occur through a clerk at City Hall for a fee of $500. Anybody need any of that?
Nope.
No, sounds good.
Okay, I will implement accordingly. That was my stuff. Thank you. And then gun licenses and all that, I will keep you guys updated, but again, TBD based on communications with ammunition.
Look, I'm gonna be straight up. After that, the Mr. K case yesterday, I think it's probably good that we keep guns off the street for just a little bit longer.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that was chaos.
Nagora, yeah.
Can I just get 60 seconds?
Yeah, please.
Well, no. I mean, to be silent and really think about something. So I just want to make sure no one needs to. Okay.
Well, I'm going to ask Etta if she has anything to propose.
Okay, so, perfect.
Lady Treasurer, do you have anything to propose to the council meeting today?
Sorry, say it one more second. Say, Alex. Yes, you and I will go over yep. Okay, I'm going to work on those, so give me a second to institute those things.
Well, I don't know how you would serialize ammo unless it's unspent ammo, basically.
Etta?
I said no, not currently.
Yeah, she already answered.
Nothing currently. I'm curious.
That's not true. She has brought stuff to me, but I sort of, as I reflected on earlier, we're working it into the PD oversight initiative. So Ed has collected requests from a number of PD sources, EMS, regarding the breakdown and overall wear and tear on vehicles. And I don't mean just like normal wear and tear. I mean the overall health of the vehicle over time. I'm not much of a gearhead, but I guess there's some degradation that occurs to where the vehicle can become almost like permanently less efficient or something. I don't know.
The engine has to be replaced, and it has to be replaced through damage and use.
Sure. So she was effectively advocating for the fact that it is hard to distinguish between normal wear and tear and operation of an engine from the PD and negligent operation, and the incentive should be that if the PD is working with us in good faith to improve themselves, we should add the proverbial carrot of maybe helping them with things like that, the overall degradation, and then incentive bonuses such as the Karakara and Scout vehicles and things like that.
Are these things
that'll be coming in the future?
Are these things that the Nakota came to you with, Etta, at some point?
We have discussed them together. Yes.
Are these requests written down anywhere for us to read right now?
She has
I have them in
notes,
my notes for treasurer. That has been there. Yeah.
Hold on, I'm gonna take a little peek. I would love to
be fair, I want to say something. I have been the person naysaying her from bringing these things specifically because I was informed prior that we couldn't. Correct.
Yeah.
Now that we have the authorization, as you're aware, Max, from earlier conversation, I think this will allow for some progress.
So that it's like a new system. Okay. I am not aware of the particulars of the system. That said, there are. It's essentially going to allow us to.
Why do you think
autonomously
it was changed
maintain
because
the flow
I literally
of commerce and budgeteering
for
every aspect of
I
government.
bought magazines and I sold them, and I made a
receiving that power instead of just
of
having flat paycheck wages like issued by the state. It will allow us to incentivize certain activities or things, or like to do whatever we need to do to actually 100% wholesale get funding for government jobs. Until this system is fully in place, it's probably not going to be for a couple of weeks. We can't actually have a serious discussion on providing funding for the police department, or for example, like something that can actually climb a mountain for the medical group. That said, we're working on it, and right now we can't. Unfortunately, I would love for the EMS to have a fucking helicopter, for example. But you guys know we can't pull the money out. So yeah, in like 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks, depending on how long it takes, there's going to be a framework that the mayor's office can make use of, or it might just be the whole. I think it's just the mayor's office. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chief Justice.
I believe the trigger lies with the mayor's office, but my opinion is that there should be obviously like discussions surrounding it.
Of course. Yeah. So I mean, always for the police department, the LSPD is in dire straits, and certainly money would be good for them to receive. Have you guys, Dakota, have you guys floated the idea of doing like I know that Cantor suggested like a car wash or something for EMS to raise money for potentially purchasing a helicopter? Are you guys working internally on any way of like raising money to purchase the tools that you need to be able to, I don't know, country patrol or whatever, like whatever you guys are missing right now?
I mean, the vehicles that we have are being test driven. As far as purchasing them, that'll be like, I think a lot of officers' main goals is to purchase them themselves personally. I would say the biggest issues are, and I've spoken to the treasurer about this, is like internal issues with the vehicles, not necessarily like purchasing said vehicles.
Okay, so everyone's more concerned with just getting their own car.
People are concerned getting their own car, but in the immediate, while that is not like feasible for some people based on money, some of our our shared vehicles are like the engines are basically dying in them.
Ooh.
Already? That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Well,
Man, cars are rough around here.
Yeah, when you crash, man, it fucks that engine up.
The problem is
or you
that
pit.
Yeah, or you pit.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. What's up, Eddie?
and repair kits as well. So the repair kits are taxing on the degradation, and so obviously if there's no mechanics or they have no parts to be able to repair the cars, then they're forced to use the toolkits, which force the engine to degrade more, and it's gotten to a point where they already need to be replaced less than a month after they were previously repaired.
Damn.
So same with the ambulances.
What's
they're
wrong with
getting
the
to
air
that
in
point
this city,
too.
man? Cars last for years everywhere else. What are we doing?
Humane
people
Labs.
gotta stop going to Sandy and all that. It's the sandstorms or something. Yeah, Humane Labs, maybe.
It's freaking Humane Labs, man. They're
Yeah,
fucking poisoning the
maybe.
water.
God
They're
damn.
crashing their cars.
Okay, so nothing to propose from the lady treasurer. Michael Simone, the big man.
I don't have anything this time around. I think the only thing is the VDM Act.
Is that finalized?
It should be.
Oh yeah, we were talking about
Sick.
it, so.
Yeah,
cool.
Simplified it, so it should be basically without all the fluff. And again, if we want to go down the path, it can always be extended to not just be work vehicles and include every vehicle on the street.
What was the VDM one again? Sorry, just
It was just the one that they
098.
Yeah, they just have to make sure it's they're taking care of the vehicles internals.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah. All right. We approved this. We were just getting the final wording. Yeah. Okay. I see that
Yeah, we
there.
changed how it
Gotcha.
worked a bit.
Gotcha.
I have one thing that all this vehicle discussion got me thinking about, but I can just wait if we're still talking about anything in particular.
Yeah, this seems to fit what we landed on, so no arguments here.
Language real quick.
Sure.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Chief of Staff, do you have anything to propose?
Not at this time. Suggest? Several citizens brought forward to me that they wanted an amendment to the DRIP Act to ban Crocs because they're unhygienic and unsafe.
Ban them.
We recommend them around the hospital. Actually, they're quite good for things like that.
This was for for the hospital for sure, but for it was for Grime and Group 6 in particular that they were saying ban Crocs. It's not right. It's not. It's just not safe for carrying things. You could drop it on your feet. That's a loss. That could be a lawsuit. Not sure. Right. I'm just saying, throwing it out there. They wanted to ban Crocs for Grime and Group 6.
My initial response is, we probably don't need to ban them, but I think it would be funny to encourage the cops to start finding people for them and establish that.
Right. I agree.
Yeah. Look, obviously,
get the money.
I was against the DRIP Act. I still am in some regard, but in the spirit of it, I will say maybe Crocs could be helping build the RS or PC for Fashion Court, and not outright banned.
Okay, all right, that's absolutely fine, but maybe list them specifically then as an unsafe shoes shoe attire, or whatever the word you want to use
It
for it is.
definitely. So the way we did it, we left it slightly ambiguous so that these things could be argued in court.
Oh
But
yeah, no,
is
that's
absolutely
fine.
one of those things that I think would be hilarious for cops
Maybe,
to push,
right?
and that to handle in court.
Even just as an example, Crocs.
Yeah.
I want to see somebody in fashion court for wearing Crocs.
I would love
so
to see
bad.
you in fashion court when you're back to doing lawyer stuff. That'd be hilarious.
Oh man, yeah, that'll be.
Yeah, I thought about reporting you several times.
I know, that's why I ran away from you.
Well, I was gonna say her
that's defending
someone.
Well,
but,
look,
I ran
ma'am,
away.
when I'm the Chief Justice and I can tell you what color your underwear is, you might be drip violation.
Literally, I was
You
not.
checking my wife out, dog?
Incorrect. Your wife presented her underwear in a manner that
That's
anyone
right.
with
It's
eyeballs
actually
can
empty
see.
engine.
Oh my god.
Look, okay, he's an older guy.
think they do.
I get it. Maybe
An observation.
kneeling skirts, Pip.
Hell,
Are
even
you
thigh.
fingertip testing me? What is this, Catholic school?
We're back in Catholic school right now.
This
Are
is
we
not.
back in
No,
Catholic
no,
school?
no. That didn't. What you're wearing did not qualify as a skirt.
No,
Oh,
Crane,
no.
Crane, I was literally at the VU right then. I was not planning on being
I know,
running
which
by
is why I
City Hall.
didn't say shit about it.
Thank you. Listen, I understand that it was inappropriate and I should not have been dressed in that manner, but I appreciate that. I also ran away from you because I knew what could come my way.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe your words were sorry for putting that in your face.
That's what my words were.
Okay, all right.
Whoa.
All right. Let's move on.
Okay, unsafe operation of a wide load. Commercial
Wow.
delivery. Hey, anyway, though, right? Commercial delivery vehicles operate under ground contact, and other delivery firms must abide by the contractually obligated weight limits set for both the individual deliveries and the truck itself. Police are empowered by way of this charge to spot check any commercial delivery vehicle with proper driver's license, contract weight, and overall trailer weight. Violation of the contract and/or trailer weight will result in an issuance of this infraction. No independent reasonable suspicion is required to spot check a commercial delivery vehicle by PD. 0 time, 1,000 fine, 4 points.
Yeah, I might
Sounds
wait
good.
with
Okay,
giving
I'm now going to copy paste the negligent one, and then I'll create the DMV.
my gun.
You raise your
Oh
hand. I see that.
no! Oh no, we're having that problem again.
What?
Oh,
Shit.
Are you hearing yourself talk? I think I heard myself talk just now.
No, it's not that.
It's MD2.
Quick,
I
save it on
can't-
a Word document, Crane. Quick.
Yeah, I know.
Wait, are you unable to open it or?
No, there's a thing that's happening lately where when you save a charge or you edit charges for incidences for criminals, it says blah 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 must reach certain constraints, and it's not functioning properly.
Hey,
Oh.
Nikki, you
Um,
didn't hear anything.
Cringe. I have a couple of things that were brought to me. I've been doing late night town halls. Some suggestions from the people of Los Santos. Some of these are things that I will suggest directly to the Fed. They're in my notes document if you guys want to take a peek at or guess at what any of those might be. The most interesting one and the one that makes the most sense to me was wait, hold on.
What's that report number? Just so I could pull it up, Mayor.
1933.
Thank you.
Yeah, be aware that literally I'm just writing the words that people are saying out loud as they're
Yeah,
saying
it's like
them.
taking a statement.
Yeah. So I'm just I'm trying to essentially convert their request into something that's an actual realistic request. First and foremost, and something that I meant to propose even in the first council meeting was making Los Santos a stop and go state. Green equals go, red light equals stop. Siobhan, you were there. Okay.
Red lights are stop signs, green is go. So it's red lights would be treated as a four-way intersection as a stop sign, kind of like when the lights are out, you're supposed to treat it as a stop sign, right? Except
Like
green is
most
still
people
go.
do already.
Yeah, like most people do already, right?
Right.
Exactly. But
It
you're still
would-
required
Yeah.
to come to a full and complete stop to check it out on a red. No California rule, no cop, no stop shit, right? You're still required to stop. But
And
then you
they-
may
Okay.
proceed.
A doctor suggested this to me because he said that the majority of people he treats are vehicle accident victims.
Yes, that is very true.
And he framed this in a very clever way to me. He said raising the speed limit has actually inspired people to actually drive the speed limit, which creates a general expectation of like how fast, generally speaking, and obviously some people speed above that, But the general expectation is that if you see a car moving through Legion Square, it's probably going about 65, 70.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, this is a great idea. What do you guys think about a stop and go state?
I like it in theory, but also this negates a lot of ability for officers to do their job and also collect fines for the save count and everything. There's a lot of things.
So that was my immediate reaction, but then I thought about it for another second. If they blow the red light, they blow the red light, right? They're not stopping
I guess so. Yeah,
regardless.
Yeah.
Yep.
The only thing I would say is someone stops at a red light, they think they have the right of way and they go, but someone has the green and then they crash. They've technically done their due diligence as far as stopping at the red. The other person's abiding by their own stop signal, and then there's an accident. What would
I would say that's negligent driving. Then they didn't make sure the intersection was clear. Like they went when they weren't supposed to.
Okay. I mean, I'm just proposing that, and I am happy to hear feedback because I personally, off the rip, I have no issue with that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. No,
I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah, I like it.
So we can't make new documents in the MDT right
now? You can make documents. I can't make charges.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Whatever you're doing, put it in. We can do the normal process. Just I can't make charges.
So later tonight, I'm going to fully write up what this would look like. Just fucking stop calling me. Jesus Christ. And it's essentially going to read, hey, four-way intersections are four-way stops now. Congratulations. I don't even think the wording of the charge, failure to obey traffic control devices, needs to be changed, because it says does not obey a sign or signal defined as regulatory. So if we just make an announcement via legislation that we're stop and go state now, then the charge can remain the same essentially.
Yeah, like Dakota explained, they'd still be violating it if they go straight through it, so it doesn't change anything.
Same on failure to stop.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Literally neither has to change. Yeah.
Because 99
which
actually.
one would you do? I guess
failure to stop is what I usually give somebody if they go through it, because it specifically references the red light.
Yeah, there you go.
Cool. All right. Well, that's gonna be on my to-do list.
Hey, there's actual treason happening.
Yeah, I saw that. Slack sent me the fucking Oh my god,
hey,
Vivek.
Really?
Yeah,
Vivek twatted.
Oh, no.
I am no longer under the jurisdiction of Los Santos. I'm starting something new. Who's interested?
Oh.
And then tweeted, "Can we make our own city?"
Oh.
And then tweeted, "I am creating a joke new nation. Keep going straight past Senor Bun's end of the hallway. No rules here."
Okay, so it's not in Sandy
He's asking
Shores
Slacks
this time.
if he wants to be the head of Secretary of Defense for Snowflake Shores.
Hold on, they're talking a little bit.
What?
Okay, that does sound like it's in Sandy Shores, actually.
Another suggestion made to me, and let me just reference the actual chart. Possession of a tampered firearm.
Yeah, I actually was considering bringing that up. What were you thinking?
I think 15,000 is a bit too steep.
I agree.
When considering other firearm charges.
Yeah, because so I'll just say it straight off. The reason why this is much higher than the other is because the tampered firearm is in and of itself tampered with and untraceable, which is why we want to deter people from obtaining them.
The problem with tampered firearms is that there's no trace to previous scene.
No, that's
there's no serial, so someone could use a gun, kill people for 3 weeks, get caught with it, and then there's no consequence because you can't tie them to
it's a ghost gun basically.
Do they
you hold on, you've confirmed that when you shoot these, sorry for talking over you, Kendrick.
There's no ballistics on these guns?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
That's
so when
pretty crazy.
No. Let me clarify how it works. So when you shoot a gun, the projectile and the casing have identifiers on them. Those identifiers lead you back to the serial and the identifier of the firearm. The tampered firearm has no serial or identifier on it. Therefore, there is no gun to trace the bullets back to.
I'm confused.
Wow.
Shoot the gun.
Yeah, shoot the gun again.
Range? Yeah, like do a firearms test.
That doesn't work. They're basically tampered with to the degree where what would normally make the casing come back to that gun just doesn't exist. The gun is shot in a way that comes out clean and cannot be traced ever. Doesn't matter if you shoot it or somebody else shoot it. The gun is modified in a way that it will never be traceable.
Crazy. Okay.
Correct.
These are rare though. I think.
Yeah, that was the intent to make them the penalty
said,
high.
I agree with the fine if they're untraceable.
They are untraceable.
I would agree to that. My initial thing that I was going to bring up is just the worry that it would incentivize robbing civilians.
That was my concern. But
that is always
so much less.
No matter what,
no, that's fair.
It is always going to be the case that civilians are going to be targeted for firearms. This has always been the reality. So what we are going to do, or at least what I have begun to do, is specifically the following. We are making sure that only certain types of firearms will be sold by ammunition, so they are distinct from the tampered guns and the PD guns, both in ammunition type, so caliber, as well as gun appearance.
Do the guns that you
in addition to that, all civilian-issued firearms are
serial?
stamped with the issuer ID, aka the state ID of the person who buys it.
Are these untraceable?
There will be a limit on how often you can purchase a gun from ammunition. That'll be like once a week or something like that. So the reality is that if these guns are stolen and are reported, the person who has the incentive to disseminate guns in a surreptitious way will have to choose between their own self-defense and arming someone else. On top of that, there are already factors in place that will deter the behavior, such as being responsible if it's not fully documented and reported. And, you know, let's be real here. If someone is a serial, gun loser, their license may be revoked by the DOJ.
You can ballistics test.
So PD have certain qualifications as to why they can revoke a gun license.
Because normally when you fire a gun, it's tied to the serial and issuer ID.
So there are checks and balances to ensure that
the gun that they craft has no serial or issuer ID,
possession of a criminal firearm class 1. What is
even
it?
Even if you ballistic test it,
30 months, $3,500 fine.
Okay. So if that needs to be adjusted, we can consider that. We'll just see how rampant the issue is.
Yeah, now that the tampered gun thing has been explained, I honestly agree. That was
it's
what I
not.
wanted
Is
to
it just
initially,
hidden in the UI?
Would, but no, fine with me.
Did someone approach you about that, Mr. Mayor, asking about the fine for a tampered firearm?
Yeah, right in City Hall.
You know who it was?
It's gonna be where is it? Ray Romanov.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
I might have to rephrase my statement because I was using information from 5 years ago, and that might not be correct.
Has that been changed? 'Cause
I
was operating on the same.
I don't. I am kind of unsure because my assumption is
because. Are you talking about the firearm tracing?
We're talking about the same thing here, Michael. I think what Michael and I are both saying is that if PD were to take the gun and to shoot it in their ballistics lab, they would not be able to identify the imperceptible differences between the bullets fired and the casings, such that they'd be able to match them to an independent scene.
Yes.
Without the serial on the gun. However, some officers might think they could do so. So I think Michael and I need to confirm the difference between belief and reality. Is that correct, Michael?
That is correct.
Okay.
Perfect sense.
If you have to run that up a certain chain, that's fine. I believe that was actually communicated in a meeting at PD after one was recovered, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll just some of my thoughts. If these guns can have ballistics run on them, maybe we consider dropping the fine. But
correct.
If they're ghost guns, I think it's fine as is.
Yeah,
no,
agree.
Agreed. Yeah,
agreed.
Absolutely.
I have other notes here. Scrolling. It's really chaotic in this list. Oh, actually, what do you guys think about people charged with misuse of rental vehicle being unable to rent vehicles?
We talked about it last time, but we wanted to find out if the money went into the state account, which it does. So do we want to keep just farming that money from the people who will use them?
Honestly, Nakota, I feel like I feel like I probably asked you this after we spoke about it last time. How
Yep.
how much of an issue is it to this day? These rental vehicles being used in crime.
I would say it's getting less and less. People are more, I think, especially with the introduction of the VAF point system that we pushed last week. People are much more. I'm seeing a lot more flagged vehicles that are stolen. People are stealing vehicles if they're using them in the commission of crime. Sometimes people still use them, use the rentals. As far as I'll be honest, I think we could just keep allowing them to use the rental spot for income to the state, because it also helps us identify people on certain scenes as well.
If a gun doesn't have a serial, how can you ever trace it?
Because that's what we were all waiting for, was to see if it went to the state.
Oh, if you get the gun and you do a ballistics,
yeah. So
also usually
ignore
works,
that
so it's
question.
probably
That's
easier
dumb.
for y'all.
Okay. No particular change required then there. I believe that is all of my notes. I am going to be invoking my right to advocate for the pardon of Mr. K in regards to last night's court case. I am letting all of you know now. If you are impartial, we can organize the actual hearing via email chain or whatever.
Okay. I'm
I'd like to see it
for that one. I don't know anything about it.
I'd like to see it happen within the week, or sorry, not within the week, within the next week. So this Monday all the way to Sunday or whatever.
To confirm, you're talking about specifically that possession charge that he lost the appeal on.
That whole incident.
Okay.
And we let's try to get a. God, look, just if you're available for it, just post your availability. Okay. Good. You guys are aware of that. Excellent.
Yeah, I
think we're done.
I need to make sure.
Could I say one thing before we go? I know this is something that came up in the back of my mind while we were talking about vehicles.
Sure.
People having upgrades stolen from their vehicle.
Sure.
Turbos specifically, it seems like.
Yeah.
I've heard several instances where people are literally being taken at gunpoint to mechanic shops to have them removed.
I've heard this too. Somebody, Xavier got in his car stolen from City Hall.
I'm sorry.
That's a little concerning on multiple levels, but I was also curious if
who is
So right now, the only charge we have is either a robbery charge or a tampering charge. I mean, if someone gets taken at gunpoint, obviously it's kidnapping and brought somewhere, right? I'm more referring to the stealing of the $10,000 to $15,000 turbo that's in the vehicle.
It's grand theft.
Okay. I was also wondering if there was any way, anyone in this room could speak to an individual or manufacturer of said turbos to get serial numbers installed to them, because right now they're almost impossible to trace as far as I'm aware.
It's aggravated petty robbery.
We're serializing turbos now? That's crazy.
Crane, I'm going to give you an example that happened. Xavier had his car parked in the parking garage back here behind the City Hall. He went out, his car was missing, been stolen. He went to Mosley's, a mechanic had taken the turbo out and just left the car behind. So there was no, weapon or anything like that. And they didn't intend to deprive him permanently. It's just grand theft, and that is
but
$500 in 5 months.
Yeah.
It's
for a $10,000 to $15,000 piece of equipment.
But hold on. Just so we're clear, you're talking about the reality of someone getting caught for this crime, correct? And how they would be punished?
You know how we required at one point in time tow workers to take a picture of the illegally parked vehicle? What if mechanics just require proof of ownership to perform work like that?
Well, aren't they being held at gunpoint anyway?
It's not going to work either.
Not always, to my understanding, but I'm sure there are incidences where they are.
Okay, so here's my point. If we're talking about how to address the problem, I don't think the criminal charge is necessarily the prime recourse here, especially when property is stolen from one person to another. because the recourse would
Yeah,
be
well,
the civil
no, they
action.
would already have a serial number.
So
Yeah.
if someone is caught and they're in a position to be charged with something, whether it's grand theft, aggravated petty robbery, extortion, whatever the charge is deemed to be made by the PD, kidnapping, whatever, right? That's inconsequential to me because the recourse would be once the person is caught and charged for stealing your turbo or whatever, then you sue them.
I think the problem right now is the record keeping as far as those upgrades are, is that there's no way to trace them as far as I know. If they can't prove that they had those turbos because there's no way to trace the purchase or there's no serial numbers. So that's a whole other issue.
There's two things. One, we cannot fix it on the mostly or mechanic side of things because anyone can be a mechanic, anyone can do it. You can have your friend do it. There's no way that we can enforce any sort of documentation. I think serializing is a way, but I think we're going down a route of if that's the case, we should just serialize anything that can be stolen. Also, yes, people can lockpick your vehicle, but to put it bluntly, buy a more expensive car with better security. I think it's an issue for PD in itself because I tested that with Swartz. I lockpicked their car and I lockpicked their ignition in less than 30 seconds. But for other people, you're driving around in a shit bucket that I can lockpick and putting a 99 turbo in it. That is a questionable decision in the first place. People are expecting these turbos to make a big difference, and they don't really. Until
they really don't.
For
they
some
really
vehicles,
don't.
For some vehicles they do, but not all. And
Yeah.
I just think it's because people just leave them in there, and then again, it's a shit bucket you're driving around because the second you get to a certain price range, the security system in the vehicles are far greater than any thief is able to defeat. So
along that same vein, Michael, how easy are CVPIs to get into?
Too easy. I have not lockpicked anything, and I got into a CVPI, and I got into the ignition in, like I said, 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Because if we're expecting CVPIs to be able to keep up with these and get people putting, turbos in those, then I mean, people.
If you're held at gunpoint, then yes. But what are you going to do about it
Alex?
Nonetheless?
So this is like very, very related to this sort of topic because I've been getting a lot of questions about the asset vehicle forfeiture thing. A common thing that is happening is people asking to like test drive their vehicles, or somebody's vehicle, and then like they get their stuff stolen, but they also still have access to that car. They avoid getting a strike from that.
Shouldn't give them the vehicle, probably.
Yeah, I would not let random people test drive my vehicle if I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, I mean, they say in the passenger seat during the test drive. Like, I don't know.
That the issue is that you hand them the keys, but you can't take the keys away.
Yeah, Corner, you're a cop. What's your perspective, or you are still?
Well,